This man, whose name I bet you don't even remember or care about, is a dead man walking, and you should care because it is going to change the entire tide of the Succession War. Hello and welcome to Suck War Central, where we talk all things related to Hunter x Hunter's Succession War. I'm your host, CJ, and I have a little confession to make. I love it when fictional characters get murdered. And now that the Succession War has been, well, raging might be the wrong word, but let's say going, for 11 days now, the bodies are starting to pile up. But a guard here and a prince there are not nearly enough to satisfy my craving for the sweet, sweet drama of a character arc cut agonizingly short, so today we're going to be talking about who might be on the chopping block next. And although the Succession War is very much about princes, every single character in this massive ensemble cast is important, and so we'll be expanding our sights to guards, hunters, mafia members, and even a jolly little band of actors you might have heard of called the Phantom Troupe. So, without further ado, who's gonna die next? Now, I'm not a liar, so let's deliver on my initial premise. And for those of you who clicked on the Chrollo thumbnail, be patient. Anyway, this guy right here is toast. His name is Rihan, and his net ability, Predator, is First Prince Benjamin's ace in the hole. For those who don't remember how it works, Rihan picks a target and grows a conjured Nen beast inside his body to counter that target. How effective the Predator will be depends entirely on how much information he was able to put together by observing the target, as well as how accurate that information is. After activating Predator, Rihan is unable to use any Nen for 48 hours, leaving him incredibly vulnerable. Of course, when killing Prince Sale's beast, this was no problem for him at all because Sale evidently had no Nen users protecting him, and Rihan was able to harmlessly swap out with a different guard. Rihan is now currently assigned to 5th Prince Tebepa, and that assignment is about to get him into a whole lot of trouble. You see, after Tebepa signed a treaty with Kurapika, her beast appeared, and Rihan surmised that signing the treaty was related to its appearance. Now, this presents a very easy opportunity for Rihan to screw up. Sooner or later, he's going to find out that the contract Kurapika has with Tebepa is of the Nen-based sort. Once he does, it's only natural for him to assume that the contract was a result of the beast, and that will lead to all sorts of other wrong assumptions and create a worthless predator that fails to kill its target. When that doesn't work, he won't be able to use Nen for 48 hours, and bam, he's a sitting duck for one very angry guardian spirit beast. If the beast doesn't kill him, Longhi or Tebepa's guard Mauer probably will, since both have access to Nen and Rihan won't be able to fight back against them. And when that happens, Benjamin no longer has a go-to man for countering Nen beasts, and suddenly he's lost one of his biggest advantages in this whole contest, leaving him in a much weaker position. But let's move on to some more exciting names, shall we? I'd like to suggest that the Phantom Troupe's troublemaking trio of Finks, Phaeton, and Nobunaga are fated to die soon. Now, although it's unclear who's gonna kill them, Togashi has dropped a very sneaky little hint that has me fearing for their lives. You see, in Japanese culture, the number 4 is an unlucky number signaling death. And you'll notice in the panel that's up on the screen right now, we've got a shot of these three walking with the number 4 behind them. We can take this to mean that the trio are being shadowed by death. Pretty ominous stuff. Now, you might think I'm reading too much into things, but Yoshihiro Togashi does not play around when it comes to the number 4. It's one of his favorite little motifs. Let us not forget that Hisoka was Hunter examinee number 44, alluding to his nature as a death dealer. And our favorite bloodlust-consumed blonde boy Kurapika was examinee 404, with a 0 inserted in the middle to show that
Kurapika is now drowning in an indescribable emptiness.
In Chapter 144, Genthru slaughtered all the Greed Island players. Also, this superstition is the reason that the most sinister and vile of the Kakin princes is number 4. So look, this panel of these guys with the number 4 stalking them like this is Togashi being about as clear as can be that one way or another, they are not surviving this arc. On the subject of the Phantom Troupe, I think it's pretty safe to say that Chrollo's days are numbered. Shalnark and Cordopee's deaths hit him very hard, and they've thrown him off his game. From panels like this one, it's clear that he's just marinating in despair and hatred, and he's decided to go after Hisoka with only Benolanov and Shizuku as backup, who, by their own admission, have poor matchups against Hisoka. Last time, in order to beat him, Chrollo needed a complicated array of Nen abilities and a perfect plan, one that he can no longer execute after losing access to Gallery Fake and Black Voice. This time, however, in Chrollo's words, I'm attacking as soon as I see him. That's my plan. Which, good luck there, Chrollo. Normally, Chrollo is a lot smarter than this, but aboard the Black Whale 1, he is so blinded by rage and vengeance that he's throwing all strategy out the window in favor of a much more straightforward fight, and that's exactly the kind of fight that Hisoka excels at. For a transmuter with versatile abilities like Hisoka, charging into battle without a plan and improvising as he learns about his opponent tends to work out, but Chrollo cannot do the same thing. He's a specialist with a set of extremely specific abilities designed for singular purposes. They're hard to improvise with, and he needs a cohesive strategy in order for them to be effective. Additionally, Chrollo is much further away from enhancement on the Nen Ring than a transmuter like Hisoka, so his body is much more fragile, and he has far less room for error in battle. This is why Chrollo is a strategist and a very cerebral fighter. Charging headlong into the fray without a plan is very unlike him. He's come this far exactly because he doesn't do that. He has entirely the wrong Nen affinity for it. That's enhancer stuff. That's transmuter stuff. That's emitter stuff. Chrollo can't do that. So something tells me that unless Chrollo gets it together and comes up with an actual strategy, when he and Hisoka meet again, their battle will have a very different ending than last time. Speaking of endings, I have a feeling that Terror Sandwich's traitorous bodyguards Theta and Salkov don't have much more room in the manga left for them. They could be out of the story in as little as one chapter. Theta in particular is in trouble, having lied to the prince twice, and she's received a warning from his Nen Beast. No, not that one, the other one, that if she lies a third time, she will cease to be human. To make matters worse for her, Terror Sandwich already has plans to interrogate her. So, Theta either lies, in which case she's done for, or she tells Terror Sandwich the truth about how she thinks he's evil and monstrous and that she doesn't respect his taste in art. And I feel like once she tells the guy that he has bad taste, she's next on the chopping block in his habit of dismantling women. Now, Salkov, theoretically, should be in no danger from Terror Sandwich. He's a man, and he's not subject to any warnings from the Beast. However, he's helping Theta. So if a fight breaks out between Terror Sandwich and Theta, Salkov is not likely to stay out of it, and he's sure to suffer a similarly gruesome fate. Although perhaps not as bad because, like I said, he's a man.
Oh, gender!
Now, Theta's in extra danger from Terror Sandwich because, she's a woman, but Salkov has something else entirely to worry about. The Nen curse under his tongue. He briefly mentions in chapter 402 that he's been able to use Zetsu since he was a baby, and you know what that means. This guy is one of Beyond's children. The children who all have curses implanted in their bodies meant to trigger with their deaths. Those children. And by the way he talks about it, Salkov probably has no idea he's got a Nen curse on him, so depending on when Beyond decides to set those suckers off, Salkov's demise could come long before the inevitable clash between Theta and Terror Sandwich even occurs. Someone else who's probably doomed, much as it pains me to say it, is 11th Prince Fugetsu, or as I like to call her, Foog. She has a deadly Nen curse on her, and she urgently needs either an exorcist or for the culprit to be defeated, and that seems entirely out of reach for Melody, the person in charge of the Kacho and Foog preservation effort. She doesn't even know where to start when it comes to Nen curses or where she would find an exorcist. And even worse, Melody's in prison and can't go looking. Her only help comes in the form of this Kaiser guy who she's incredibly suspicious of, and he seems more interested in killing princes than finding an exorcist. And to top it all off, Melody & Co.'s leading theory about Foog's illness is 100% wrong. The track they've gone down is believing that 7th Prince Luzerus's guardian spirit beast is most likely responsible for Foog's condition. And there's no way that's true. One of the main rules of the Succession War is that guardian spirit beasts cannot attack other princes, but Melody doesn't know that. So basically, they have a time-sensitive problem and are wasting that time pursuing a solution that's doomed to fail. And while they chase this dead-end plot, Foog's life is quickly slipping away. While Foog is likely to fall victim to an assassin in the near future, let's talk about an assassin who probably just fell victim to their target. This here is, oh god, this name, Balsamilco Might. Jesus, okay. Anyway, Mr. Vinegar here has a plan to assassinate 9th Prince Halkenberg with the poison gas stored in his shoe, and that plan probably just failed. First of all, chapter 402 ends with another one of those rumblings of aura that Halkenberg is known for causing, as well as the revelation that the prince has collapsed. Now, this could mean that Balsamilco succeeded in killing him, but the fact that it was correlated with a rumbling suggests he used his ability, Possession Arrow, against Balsamico. See, normally this ability causes aura resonation between Hulk and his followers before inserting one of the Hulkenberg helpers into the victim's body, but the whole reason Balsamico decided to target Hulk right now is that he's all alone and can't do that. Thus, I believe that Hulk hit Balsamico with the arrow, and the only person available to give up their body was the prince himself. Since Balsamico is almost certainly now under Hulk's control, that paints a grim future for him. After all, of the last two guys to get possessed, one's dead and the other is completely unaccounted for. Now, losing Rihan is going to strike a blow against Benjamin, but losing Balsamico is going to be much worse. The guy is Benjamin's right-hand man, the yang to his yin, the genius in the chair helping him keep his cool. Without him, Benjamin's strategic planning is going to go right down the crapper. And thus we come to my last prediction. I don't think Prince Benjamin is long for this world. If he really does lose both Rihan and Balsamico, the prince himself won't be far behind. In fact, with the Balsamico situation, he could even die within a single chapter. All Hulk has to do is pretend to be Balsamico for long enough to get close to Benjamin, and then he can pull a no you and kill Benjamin with the poison in Balsamico's shoe. Even if that doesn't happen, Benjamin is about to lose two of his MVPs, and without them, he's going to lose his effectiveness, his composure, his game plan, and shortly thereafter, his life. And with that, we've come to the end of my predictions for upcoming Hunter x Hunter deaths. I hope you enjoyed my bloodthirsty ramblings, and be sure to tune in next time for more Succession War-based yapping. I've been CJ from Suck War Central, and it's been a pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful day.